Welcome to another episode of Concrete Mystique, the podcast. This is going to be a cool one. We are talking about the Golden Pour Awards. This is something that has never been done before. I love when it's a first time something is coming out. I think it's an awesome idea. I'm excited about the fact that we are now going into almost an awards time of year. And so there are new companies coming out with new awards. Can't get better than that. So today I have Chris Land and Eagle Kianes on the show today to talk about the Pour Awards. Did I get that name right, Eagle?
Yeah, you got it right. Right on target.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for joining me, guys. I appreciate it. And so
Thank you
let's
for
just
having
start out with, first of all, Eagle, you and I have never met before, have we?
Right, never. But
That's
it's good to meet
that's
you.
a rare thing in this industry for me, and I didn't think so. But last time I didn't think so. They caught me off guard and were like, "Oh yeah, we met a year ago," and I was like, "What?" Because I never remember anyway. All right, cool.
So
well,
this one's going to be easy. This one will
Yeah.
be easy because you met him
Yeah, you
here.
yeah. Now I've
So
met
if you
him.
ever ask him, where did we
Hopefully-
first meet? Well, we first met on a interview.
Yeah, and
interview.
hopefully I remember how to say the last name next time too. Okay, so you guys are doing the Golden Pour Awards. Now,
Yes.
GPA.
I just want to start
GPA.
with the simplicity of this idea of, let's just start with, where did the name come from?
Okay, so myself, I am the founder of the GPAs, all right, the Golden Pour Awards. I also have another business partner. Her name is Diamond. She actually isn't on the show at the moment, but she is the co-founder behind it. The way we ended up coming up with the idea, she actually came up with the name. All right, I came up with the idea. She came up with the name. It all started back at the World of Concrete of this year in January. And what we noticed was we somewhat noticed a flaw in the industry as far as when we went to the I'm about to say the Golden Pour. When we went out to the World of Concrete, what we picked up was we realized that the World of Concrete was geared towards the manufacturers and distributors, right? Now, as an installer or an artist, I previously went the year before, met with a lot of good people out there, networked and things like that. But then I realized that the manufacturers and distributors that's what the World of Concrete was created for, right? And us as artists and installers, we're like, well, we pay top-notch dollars pretty much to network with each other, right? Now, there's a whole bunch of other, fields that's out in the World of Concrete. It's not just epoxy. There's a little bit of everything, cement sculptures, overlays, things like that, right? So what I realized was, as an artist before epoxy, I do wall murals, I do artwork, things like that. And one of the things that, the way I look at it, my philosophy behind it is, I've never met any person ever, whether you do art or not, never met anyone that ever praised the paint or paintbrush that Leonardo da Vinci used to create the Mona Lisa, right? We always praise either the artwork or the artist on that note, right? It was never the brand of paint that they use or the paintbrush. So when it comes down to the epoxy portion of it, what I started to realize is a lot of companies look at it as, well, they do great work, but it's basically like our product that made that work look as good as it does, And not only that, it comes back to where another thing that I picked up was, in our industry, some is intentional, some isn't intentional, and some is indirect, some is direct, where it's like, I may be with a brand, and let's say, for example, Chris is with a brand, right? And Chris is repping this brand, or he does a lot of work with this brand over here, and I may do a lot of work with this brand over here. But because I'm with this brand and he's with that brand, it's like we can't really see eye to eye
Network.
because of the fact that I'm with this brand, and if we're not using this product because, quote unquote, this is the best product, and in his field, that's the best product, the line of work that he runs with. It's like we sit down and put a boundary, we put a wall between us as artists, which stops us from being able to create raw work. And this came about was, I had a friend. I now live in California, but I had a friend that is actually from Florida. And I'm originally from Florida. I just live in California now. So this person actually stepped up to me, and I would have projects and things like that. This person would actually come through. Another artist would come through. They would let me hold their materials, hold their machines, things like that. But so outside of epoxy, I see them as a great friend, right? But then I also know them as an installer. I know them as an artist. So because of that, what struck was we ended up going the day before the World of Concrete hit, and we went to go get our badges and things like that. And he stepped to me and was like, "Hey, what are you guys doing tonight?" And we're like, "Well, we're actually going to this party over at XYZ, And his response was, "Oh man, that would be dope if I could go to that party. I would love to go there with you guys, but I'm sure I wouldn't be able to get invited because I'm with this brand." And everyone else looked at it like, "Oh, well, okay, well, man, that sucks. Hopefully we get to see you." In my mind, I was like, wait, hold on. But before epoxy, you and I are actually friends, Doesn't matter what brand we represent. At the end of the day, we're still artists. You're an artist, I'm an artist, and you do raw work, I do raw work. So outside of work, I'm still gonna look at you as the same way. Like I said, you're somebody that actually brings your equipment to me so that I wouldn't have to rent equipment, So that struck me a certain way. So that night, we had a penthouse out there in Vegas, and I ended up going back, and that stuck with me. Like the whole night through the event and everything, that stuck with me. And I looked at it as, at the time I spoke with Diamond, and I was like, yo, like, I think this is like a bigger issue than what we really see on the table. Like, it's not something that's talked about, but it's like a lot of us sit down and we're cool with each other. Like when we were out at the World of Concrete, listen, we were out hanging out. We were at different clubs. We were at different bars, and everyone, like, the love is there. You see it. We got videos of it. Like, it's there. But once we leave the World of Concrete, which is an event that happens once a year, we go back into our, hey, I'm with this team and you're with that team. So that's how the Golden Pour was created. It was created because of the fact we wanted to, one, bring unity to our industry. Two, our industry is only getting bigger. It's not getting any smaller. It's only growing. And what we did was we decided to involve our industry so that this is a for the industry, by the industry event. No one major company owns the Golden Pour Awards. We as an industry own the Golden Pour Awards. And we made sure we set it up that way so that everyone realized that, look, we're all stronger if we work together. We can all chase a bag. We can all sit down and go get the money. It's okay to have friendly competition. That's cool. But this is something that was pretty much created to show installers, artists, distributors, manufacturers that, listen, we need you guys just as much as you guys need us. And that was what the whole the back end behind this was.
Okay, so you've already given me multiple questions and things to go with after that. Okay, first of all, I think it's interesting about the war of the different brands. So was that your
But
first
that
World of
happens.
Concrete? No,
Yeah,
that's not
That
a bad way.
happens
But
a lot.
was that your? How many times have you been to the World of Concrete, Eagle?
This was the second year.
That was your second year. Okay, I've been
my
going
second
for
year.
15 straight years. Okay, so I know what you're talking about. But the interesting about that is that, to me, some of that becomes more of the personality of the person, because I've never heard of, you can't go to this party because you don't buy our product. That's the whole point to all these parties, is one, to recognize the people that are buying our product, but then two, to get more people interested. Because if you are going there and you're like, man, all my friends are going to this party, there must be something about this product that I don't know about, I got to go find that out. No one is going to turn you down from going there to find that out. and to get to know these people.
Now,
So that person
now,
doesn't understand how this industry works if that's the case to me. Because trust me,
nope.
I've been to so many parties. Go ahead.
I get what you're coming from. Now, the thing is this: it's not that the person or the artist doesn't know the product, doesn't know. It's the fact that that artist works directly under another competitive brand. So that's why they were like, you can't pull up to this party because you're with that brand. And we know that so it's basically like you couldn't come to this party because of the fact
Interesting.
that
Okay.
we don't want you to take any of our information or any of our customers and things like that. That's really what it was.
Chris.
So they're definitely, like I said, they run with a specific brand, and the guys that run from this brand knows that they run with that brand. So it's like to see you pop up at this location is basically like quote unquote saying you're walking on enemy territory. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I've
that's
never had
where
that problem, but
it's not
sure.
that they didn't.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not that they
No,
didn't.
I mean, Rick, it does happen. I see it as well. I mean, even being at World of Concrete for the past 4 years, there's crews,
Yeah,
there's cliques, if you will, and
Oh,
it
absolutely.
might
That's where I
be
was going with it. That's my point. That yes, and
it, it
that's
might
exactly what I
be
was looking at.
a little bit intimidating to somebody that's coming into this industry. It's their first time at World of Concrete. It's their first time at an industry event, and they see this crew hanging out. They all know, we all follow each other on social media. We
right,
know who
right,
people run with, right? So it's more of an intimidating factor, I think. And so creating something for the industry by the industry eliminates the
Yeah,
opportunity to separate everyone.
right.
it's funny
This
you
is a
say
unity.
that.
We're about
There is so much that there is so many different ways that we need to work on unity in this industry. 100%, and I love the
yeah.
fact that that's your angle. That is huge because I have fought that for years, and Chris obviously knows a ton about me and knows where I go when that comes when that kind of with that kind of conversation. That is why I'm a member of
Right.
ASCC. That is why I've been a member of organizations in this industry for over a decade because I want to fix that. I want to make those changes. If we don't do things like you're doing, change will never happen. That's first and
Right.
foremost. You know,
Right.
but and with networking, you're right. Like World of Concrete is a great place to network. It 100% is a great way to introduce yourself to new people, catch up with them on social media afterward, and things like that too. The one thing I was going to ask you though is okay. So for example, and maybe you don't even know about this either. To the same point, with as busy as we all get, did I lose Eagle?
Yes.
He's frozen.
No,
Are
I'm
you
here.
there? Okay,
No,
it's
he's still
frozen on
there.
my
I'm
screen.
here.
Okay.
Oh,
Then
now probably
my
because I
camera's
stopped.
recording.
I
It
stopped
doesn't
moving.
matter. Okay. So what I was going to say is, like, for example, the American Society of Concrete Contractors have the Decorative Concrete Council. We have had awards through that for decades, at least over a decade, maybe 15 years. I don't remember how many years. That awards has everything that has to do with decorative concrete, everything from stamped
Right.
to vertical to resinous flooring to overlay to polishing to staining to engraving, like every form to the art form itself. Every aspect of this industry is in that organization and in that award ceremony. Why is it that you're so gung ho about just resinous flooring by itself? Why, with this being a unity to the industry, why is it not about the entire industry and only just one part of the industry? That's my biggest question.
Well, when I first started, and this is looking at from my binoculars. When I first started, it was pretty much I didn't know. I don't know the portion of as far as the concrete world, as far as overlays and the concrete polishing and things like that. I got into the industry from the metallic side, right? Now, is that something that this is going to stay that way? The golden pour is going to stay like that? No, because when I first started, and it was all, when I brought it to the attention of a couple other guys, it was pretty much just this is where I'm at with it. We need to make something that's going to be quote unquote for the resinous portion of it because you know the world, the concrete world. We're pretty much like the 1% of the concrete world. We're a very small fraction of the
Yeah,
world,
we're bigger
you
than
know,
you realize now, to be honest with
you
you,
know.
actually.
And
But I
because of
agree with
that,
you.
it was like it's like, well, you know what? I think we need to put something together that we can sit back and we can recognize each other. That's gonna be, hey, you know, when we do pop up at the World of Concrete or things like that, you walked away with an award. People are already gonna know, oh, that's such and such. You know, that's this person. Our industry
And
is
not
not only
not only for attention, but also to shed light into representing our part of the industry,
right
because there is a lack of representation for resinous
for
coatings.
residence artists,
There's a
right?
lack of representation for not only artists but the contractors. Right there's not a lot of information for somebody starting this industry. It's more like, hey, here's some material and go figure it out.
Right.
So it starts with awareness, and then it leads into regulation. It leads into building our industry, setting up the foundation for the industry. So this is the start. This is
Foundation.
what I see the start being.
Yeah.
You bring people together that are like-minded, and you build upon that. We have
Right.
a whole industry of installers all across the United States and other countries, um, that support this movement, that support this idea, this event, because it's no longer just an idea.
Right.
That support this event, and so we're giving it a space. That's what the
Okay.
GPA represents.
Building the
Okay,
platform
so
for it.
so here's some trivia for you, or some information, some statistics for you.
Oh,
Resinous
here we go with the
flooring,
trivia.
not trivia, but statistics. The
Okay.
resinous flooring industry at World of Concrete is the fastest growing industry. It is, if I'm not mistaken, from what they told me, it's over 30% growth in just resinous flooring applicators going there, and resinous flooring supply stores having booths and stuff like that. It is the fastest growing part of this industry at World of Concrete currently, in case you didn't know that. Second important statistic to know too, in case you're not familiar with ACI, American Concrete Institute, is that what American?
Mhm.
What?
Yeah.
You know, that's where all the engineers are getting together, and that's where all the brains of these industries and the architects and the designers are all getting together, and they're all analyzing every aspect of concrete, and they're creating uh, um, everything that you need to know to do everything correctly. They're going into the hardcore statistics of everything there is. They are now creating a resinous flooring section. They took them years to make a decorative concrete section of ACI. Now they have started to make a resinous flooring section of ACI also. So that's how serious the industry is actually taking resinous flooring, to the point of either this is the best time for you to do this, or you know they're already planning to do it and you're jumping the gun on them and stuff like that. It could be a great idea. It can be great timing because of all of that. And I think then that's why I wanted to meet with you guys and talk about it too, because I know how much I hear from my side of the world, how much I hear about this. And as little as you probably know about me, Eagle, I'm sure you don't know much about me at all or anything, but
Right.
I
Right.
don't pour concrete either. You know, I only work with the surface of concrete. I've never poured an ounce of concrete. I'm not different than you much at all. I'm an artist. I treat
Right.
it no different than you do too. Everything I do, I'm very hardcore about. I want every floor, every ceiling, every wall, whatever I'm doing, I want that to last forever. You know, I am very serious and hardcore about this industry on every aspect possible also. And so to that same point, you know, and Chris is one of the first ones that has joined ASCC and become a part of a bigger picture, and we are slowly bringing more people into it. So I also want to bring that to the table of that is, if you guys are this serious about what you're doing in the industry, I think you guys should also join ASCC to show the rest of the industry why resinous flooring is so important and why you feel like you have to have your own awards for it. Because, and to your point, the DCC awards have one award, well, two because of square footage, but one award for resinous flooring. You guys are planning to have how many awards?
We have there's 64 awards going out. There's a total of 14 categories.
14 categories. We have one category. So I see your point to where there's so much more going on in this side of the industry that the bigger picture doesn't really know about yet or doesn't understand yet or
Right,
trying to relate to, but they're not catching up. So I get your point
right.
to all of that too. I just want to see, like you said, I want to know how these awards are going to unify the industry instead of isolate you. And does that make any sense? You see what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say?
yeah. No, you have there's a lot. We have a lot of. One thing I learned is, in the 4 years of doing the resin is the fact that we got a lot of low ballers, a lot of you know fish that's at the bottom of the lake. And these guys are like
We call them
they're
2 men in a
nickel and
truck.
diamond. Some of these guys are like, bro, yeah, 2 men in a truck. Like these guys, I'm like, some of the jobs, I'm like, bro, how are you charging $2 a square foot? You know, and to me,
Right.
I feel like that's not it's hurting our industry than actually growing our industry and making our industry stronger. So for someone that comes back and says, "Yo, I ended up walking away with a golden pour," when they do have these setups where they're in a cahoots with five other installers who's installing the same stuff, what happens is they're giving the consumer or the customer the upper hand to sit back and say, "Well, if I'm gonna get the same exact product from all three of you guys, or I'm gonna get the same type of floor from all three of you, or all five of you guys, then who's gonna give it to me for the best price?" You know. And at the end of the day, that takes away from the artistry of what it is that we're doing. We're deep. These guys that are coming in at $2, $3, $4 a square foot, you're devaluing the industry. You're devaluing the work, the hard work that us guys that are out here making a living, all actually doing this because we care about it. You're devaluing our price tag, you know. Because then what happens is you guys come out here, you go do it for $2 a square foot, $3 a square foot, and guess what? You destroy the floor. Now
Fail.
that same client comes back to us, and now we got to basically charge them double to fix a floor that they were supposed to get right the first go round. You
So,
know?
Yeah, but that's on
and
the homeowner.
again,
That's not on us. That's
Right,
the whole
right, right,
thing, though.
but
right.
I say
again,
that all the
it
time. Like, let
it's
those guys go out of business. We'll come back and charge them 3 times more to fix it because
Yeah,
that's their fault. We tried to warn them ahead of time, and I do that. I mean, we all go through this. We
right.
always try
but
to
it's
warn them. There's a reason why it's
misrepresentation.
so cheap.
I think
That's
it's
what it
just
is. It's the misrepresentation of our
misrepresenting our
industry.
industry
Oh yeah,
and actual quality workmanship. So setting standards, right? Creating not only regulation, but doing it in a way that brings unity for everyone. It's teaching and it's educating and it's pouring back into the people that are starting the business,
Right.
whether this is their first year or they've been doing it this way for 5 to 10 years. Um, it all comes back to it has to start with one thing. It starts with creating unity. And so the Golden Pour Awards, it's bringing people from all across the world together to recognize them in a resinous standpoint, so that way we can start influencing our industry. Not necessarily influencing, I shouldn't say that, but I would say setting standards in our industry.
for the residence side of it, compared to what we're
Correct.
trying to do with the other sides of it. Yeah, which again is what ACI is
Correct.
trying to do too. One of the hardest things we have in our industry is regulation. That's one of the biggest things. Like, we have tried and tried and tried to figure out how we can create regulations in what we do, and we really can't, because the one thing about concrete is you can use anything to make a coating. Back in the day they used beer to make stain, and they've used soy to make stains and all this kind of stuff. So there's like no limit to what you can use material wise to make our industry. So there's no way to regulate it, because you'd have to regulate every little tiny aspect of it. Most industries are very cookie cutter and straightforward. Wood is wood.
Right.
Ceramic is ceramic. Porcelain is porcelain. We don't have, they don't have to worry about all that kind of stuff. We're the oddball
I'm gonna
industry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this too. Backing Eagle and what he said as far as there's not enough representation. I know that the ASCC and Decorative Concrete Committee and the Polishing Committee have just separated their award ceremony, or I'm sorry, not separated, but made it whole So now there's a decorative concrete committee and a polishing committee,
Yes. There's
and the
more
polishing
awards for
committee
each
has
side of
their
it.
own set.
Yeah.
They have their own set of awards now. So,
Yeah.
you know, they are doing something that we want to do, and we are going to do it. It's a matter of bringing our industry together to do that,
Right.
because it does
Absolutely.
take a team. It takes commitment. It takes people pushing it forward. It's not something that one person can do. And so, we are counting on our industry to come together. We are asking our industry to come together for one night to represent our industry together, right?
Right.
No, man. Good
To
luck,
be a
man. That's
part.
never going to happen. I'm out now. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Hey, that's
Okay,
why
but
I'm gonna see you in October on the 9th, huh? Or
I'm hoping,
10th,
man.
10th.
All right. So okay, so to the same point, let's get into your actual awards program itself. Okay, so first of all, I want to know how you enter. I want to know the details of, like you said, there's multiple different awards going on here. Why are there so many? What is the breakdowns like? How did you come up with all of that? I know that's a lot. It's a big question at one time, but like go through the process of what it means to enter these awards right now, because they just went live. Is that correct? Like you're just now allowed to enter. It just came up recently, right?
Yeah, they just started to get entries
They
in,
just opened.
you
That's why I
know.
wanted to do this.
Yeah.
So I want to know how you enter. I want to know not why you enter. Of course, we know why, but what are you getting out of that entry? What are the different angles of, the different, however you want to say it, the different entries that you can make? Are you allowed to enter more than one? Are you allowed to enter all of them? Like how does this all go together?
Chris, you want to
So
answer? Or you
so
want
this year, that there we are doing free entries. We are pouring back into our community of resinous coatings individuals, and we're giving everyone the opportunity to submit any work that they've completed, noting that it's their best quality work because it is going to be judged. And there are rules and regulations that we have to follow, or the judges would have to follow, in order to select a winner for that category. So, as far as um, submittal of a nomination, if you will, that's going to be on the website. Eagle, right? It's the
Yeah, well,
goldenpourawards.com.
we got it on the website. We also have you can actually go under the Golden Pour page on Instagram. There's a jot form also in there. It's a submission form that you can actually just go into the submission form. You can click on the jot form and it'll pull it right up. It'll send you right to the website, and you can literally just drop your work and stuff like that on there. Whether it's video, they're looking for videos. We're looking for photos, before and afters, things like that of your best work. And it's pretty much created through we decided to run it as a 5 territory setup. The reason why is because you may, like in Florida, we have a ton of installers in Florida, a ton of artists in Florida. But then you go to a location like Wisconsin, where you may only have like 100 installers, if that. Florida, we're running at least a good 4 or 5 thousand people down there that's doing epoxy, all over the place. So we broke it down into its own region due to the fact that we want to make sure that it's as fair as possible for every region, so that if we're only doing 12 categories, right, and we have 5,000 people showing up, I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to sit down and say, yo, there's only 12 trophies coming out, you know. So we broke it down to where it's like, look, you only have to compete within your region. You only have to be the top dog in your region, you know, because that's where we have guys like, out in California. Where we're out in California, there's a ton of us that do resin work. But a lot of it is also the popularity. Some people are in it and they don't have the following popularity wise, they only have a couple hundred followers. But I know a couple of them that, like I said, this one over here has 10,000 followers, right? And it's a popularity event. Then you have this one over here who has only 500 followers, but their work outspeaks the work of this person that has 10,000. Like clearly out the blue, you can see it. You know, it's clear as day. So that's what the awards is for. It's for those same people that have the 500, that these guys that are over here with the, you know, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, 400,000 that are running back to people that have the 500 followers, that you're coming over here to get this game from this person over here. Like if you ask me, if you know who would be the GOAT, the person that has 400,000 or the person that has 1,000, and the person that has 400,000 is running over to the person that has 1,000, the one with 1,000 is the GOAT to me. You know, what happens is you're going over there, you're getting it from them, and then you're going to monetize off of that, you know, because you got the following. So this isn't about popularity.
But let me ask you. Yeah, but no, of course it's not, because it's based on judges, right? I mean, this isn't
well,
to,
yeah,
to your
it's
same
based
point.
off your
Okay,
art.
like
It's based off your work.
but
It's
to
based
the
off the
same
work
point.
you put out.
Sure. Okay. Right. It should be. That's why I don't know how the followers really matter. But even to your same point, like I stupidly entered the People's Artist Award thing to try to, you know, like it looked cool. It was Johnny Depp. I talked about it in one of my last episodes. I thought it was a really cool idea. I was like, screw it. I'm going to enter it, see what happens. It's a popularity contest. It's a money grab that you have to spend time to get your friends to vote for you. And hey, it's free to vote once, but it costs money to vote 10 times. And whatever many votes you get after that, it costs more money to vote on. That's ridiculous to me. I'm like, screw that. I don't even want to be a part of it anymore. I'm so disappointed in that I even tried to enter it thinking I knew it would, like, I thought it would be cool. No, it's a joke. And it irritates the crap out of me. I don't even want to be a part of it anymore. I just found out this morning I made it into the top 20 in my region, like you're talking about. Whatever, you know, like wherever that, I mean, it's only going to get worse and worse. And, you know,
I have friends
awards,
that
this is
send it
ridiculous.
over to me, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I got artist friends that sent it over to me.
This is what you're not doing. You know, that's the whole point. Because the way you described it sounds like that. This is not a popularity contest.
This is not a popularity contest.
How many
this is
judges?
Strictly for your artist. So we have a total of 10
How many
judges.
Do you have?
There's 10 judges.
10?
There's 2 judges per region. There's 2 judges per region. And then the way it's set up is the judges don't even know that they're not allowed to disclose that they are a judge. All right. And the reason for that is to keep it as fair as possible. They're going to be able to sit down and say,
I'm not allowed to already say that I was one of the judges?
If you were a judge, yeah, you know, if you were a judge, it's like, yo, who came here and told you were a judge? Yeah, are you a judge?
You're fired.
No, what are you doing? You know, you're fired. You know,
a new judge.
We need a new judge for Tennessee. You know?
Sorry.
You know?
I couldn't resist.
So,
Take them off.
Yeah, take them off. You know, pull them out. So, yeah, but it's to keep the fairness, because a lot of people, you know, when we first started it, I've gotten emails, I've gotten phone calls and texts of people saying, "Oh, this must be a popularity thing. Like we already know who's going to win because of the popularity." No, that's not what this is.
No,
it's not about the popularity.
No,
this is strictly about the skill, the craft, the work that you put out. So that's what this is all about. It's to show recognition to those that are really out here putting out the work, that's out here, that's been grinding every week, every day. They're putting that work out.
All right, so let me ask you this then. If you have 2 judges per region, are those judges from those regions, or are you going to have judges do somebody else's region?
No, the judges are from the regions that they're being chosen from.
Okay,
they're
so
within
just
the region,
for the record, you know, just for the record, to put this, you know, in front of everything, if you have 2 judges from the same region, how is that not a popularity contest? Because they can dictate who they might like more or less, even if they don't know the person that's entered. Because I assume you're not telling them who these entries are. You're just giving them the information, the pictures, and the story, and saying, pick your favorite one, correct? But since they know that region, some of them might actually know these people and know these entries.
Okay, so one, this isn't even though it's a Grammy style award ceremony, you're not going to be a Kendrick Lamar, come out and win 27 trophies. You're only going to get one.
Right.
You know, if for example, if I was in this region, the region will consist of about 5 to 6, 7 states for that region. Right now, we have those people that are in that region that actually knows, they know the industry. So it's not just a regular Joe Schmo that we picked out and say, yo, you're going to be part of this region. No, these are guys that are looked up to. There are actual, they're in the industry. Like, let's sit back and say if it was like, let's say like it was Chris, right? We know Chris, he knows his region. He knows the people that are around his region that are doing great work, you know? So he's not going to be able to sit down and say, well, let me find out who else is in this region that is allowed to sit down and say, yo, look, we should both, if you give me that guy, I'll give you this guy, right? Because they don't know that they're even each other, that they're judges. Now, Chris will come in and say, okay, look, this is how we're going to break it down. It's broken down, set up like this. Chris will pick, let's say, epoxy artist of the year, right? Out of epoxy artists of the year, Chris is going to pick two of his top guys for epoxy artists of the year. Then Johnny over here is going to pick two of his top guys of the epoxy artists of the year. They're going to submit those back into the board, right? Now the board is going to go back and we're going to run through a process of elimination. If Chris picked Tony and Alex and Johnny picked Tony and Patrick, when we get it, we're going to see that Tony hit twice on that. That award goes to Tony, right? Now, let's say he picked Tony and Alex, and over here was Dominic and Patrick. Now we take those four, since they're all separate. We're going to take those four. We're going to make a poll, and we're going to let the community pick who's the best guy out of these groups right here. So it's basically a community involvement behind that. And the one with
That
the
sounds
most,
like a
the highest
popularity
polls,
contest.
it's going to be the guy that sits
No,
back. Nah,
no,
because you'll have to
no.
look at it
We're good.
from the angle of, you're going to sit back and try. If you know that you're on that poll, you're going to try your best to try to get everybody on that, But you're running
It's
out
trying
of
to keep things as fair as possible.
as
At the
fair as
same
possible.
time, be open and involve our community in selecting. Let's say there is, four people that are selected for this, and we bring it to the board. I mean, at the same time, too, we're taking into certain criteria for our judges to where they have to go based upon certain things in order to make that submittal anyways. So it's not
Right.
just, you know, whoever the judge is, he picks this person because he likes them, or he doesn't pick them because he doesn't like them. If they're not meeting that criteria, then
They're
they
not
can't
getting
be
right.
admitted for that award. And it's not just, whatever one picture they sent in. This is based on the criteria that's drawn out for that specific award. So, um, I just want to touch on this real quick, and it's important because as a community, and to feel like you're part of that community, to be given that option to weigh your vote, if you will. Um, I mean, it's unlike anything that I've ever been a part of, right? Um, as an industry as a whole, your voice matters, right? Your voice will matter when it comes down to that final selection, because it's not a popularity contest. It's who deserves it, who deserves to have this award, who deserves to be in this position to accept this award, and we're gonna let we're gonna let the world choose that. I think we did
Okay.
lose Eagle, did we?
He's just frozen. It'll fix it.
Oh,
The
okay.
video
No,
is
I'm
probably
back.
still there because it hasn't
I'm
Oh,
popped
here.
up
okay.
on my screen that there's an issue. So it happens.
Okay.
There he is. Um,
Yeah, I'm
okay,
here.
so what are the different categories then? That's the word I couldn't remember earlier. What are the different categories?
There's a bunch of different categories. So we have, one of them is the rising star. We have 5,000, the biggest project, 5,000 square feet or more. We have a 5,000 and
Can you hear him?
less. Can you hear me? No?
No, it's
Hold on one
breaking
second.
up
I
really
don't think
bad.
so. Eagle, we can't hear you, my man. I need you
All
to
right.
tap in.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
No, you
Can
are
you hear
breaking
You
me?
up. You're
sound like a
sounding like you.
robot.
Yeah, You sound like you've got the what's the auto sound on?
The
What
auto
about
tune.
what about
Auto
now?
tune.
What about now? What about now? What about now? I got my auto tunes on. I'm about to T-Pain this thing. You know? Oh man,
Oh man, that was good. That was good. Hey, you know what? Eagle, let them know, bro. Let them know we get down on
nah,
our
nah,
mic,
nah,
man.
nah. We
Ah,
can't put them on game on everything, man. We can't put them on everything. You know. But there's all sorts
I
of
all
think
right.
I
awards.
think I think we've lost them. I
We
think we've
lost him.
lost
He
them.
just went offline. He's probably
Uh,
fixing it. All right. So
Oh
well,
man.
before we,
there are going to be 14 different categories. We are going to withhold one category that's not going to be mentioned, and there he goes.
There we go. There we go. All right, I'm back.
There we go.
I'm back.
Um, Eagle, can you break down the categories for him?
We have a whole list of them. I gotta actually go find them again. But there's I know for sure we have the
okay.
Rising
See,
Star.
that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing to this is you guys keep announcing the Golden Pour Awards and you keep advertising it, but you don't tell anybody anything about it. That's what I'm trying to get through. That's what I want everybody listening to understand. How can we enter if we don't know what the categories are? Come on.
I'm pulling
So,
the
so the
categories up.
categories are on the website.
I'm
The
just
Yeah,
messing with
right.
categories
you. It's
are on the
completely
website.
okay. I'm just messing with you. But,
Nah,
you
Um,
know,
they
right,
definitely
that's
have
the
them
whole point
all
is
on
go
the
to the
website.
website. Yeah.
Is you have it on the
Um,
website, and there's a couple different ones. There's, like I said, there's the Rising Star. We have there's two of them, which is going to be two. It's only two awards. It's not a group pick out. One of them is the Legacy Leadership Award. One of them is for a male. One of them is for a female. We have Best Countertop Project. We have Best 5,000 square feet or more. We have Best 5,000 metallic floor or less. Under 5,000, we have Best Prep Crew is one of them. There's a bunch of them that's on there, but again, you can definitely go to the website and you're gonna find them all. They're all listed on there.
okay. Uh, do you have a People's Choice Award?
We do, which is the
Okay.
Legacy Leadership
Uh,
Award. We do,
Interesting.
and
Okay.
that's gonna
I was
be
just curious, just
yeah. We
because of the
definitely have
idea
that.
how you're like adding this to like Oscars and everything like that. You know, back in the day when we had the MTV Music Awards, they also had the
Yeah, or
People's
you get to
Choice
pick.
Award for it and
Yeah,
stuff like that. And you know,
yep,
I just thought that was kind of a
yep.
funny
We
idea,
have
so I
it. We
just
just
was
call it the
asking if you had
Legacy
something like
Leadership
that too.
Award. But yeah, we definitely have it.
Cool.
You know,
Awesome. Now I got a gnat
for
flying
sure.
around me.
I
Uh,
think it's necessary, but real quick, just to touch on the awards, we need everyday contractors, artists to go to the website and fill out the information, because at the end of the day, if you don't submit any work, then you will never have the opportunity to take an award home. So go to the website, goldenpourawards.com, click the link for submit an award or submit application, go through there, select your category that you want to submit for, or if you're going to submit all of them, submit all of them. But we need you to show us what you've been working on for our judges to make that decision. If nobody submits work, then epoxy guys will be taking home all the awards. I mean, I need some people jumping on there and submitting their work. We,
okay.
we, we need
So
the community's involvement with this.
two questions for you. One is if I go on there and I make an entry and then a week later I'm like, "Oh, I want to make another entry." Can I enter as many different times or do I have to like keep an account and keep going through that account to keep entering it? Does it matter? Like does it matter either
No,
way?
you can go back. You can go back through. No, we got to set up. You can
Cool.
actually go back up. If you see some other work that you're like, yo, you know what? I forgot this one. This one actually was pretty tight. You can put it in. You know, you can still
Okay,
get
cool.
submitted. You can
Uh
still put it in.
now I forget my other question. Um
Well, we also, while we're at it, we have we're also looking to we're actively looking for sponsorships. So where it comes into play
Absolutely.
for
Thank you for
our
bringing that up. Yes.
for examples, yeah, we have the awards. This is something that's created for the the artistry of what we do, but to show our support as well. to the manufacturers and distributors, we are actively looking for sponsorship so that they're able to sit down and be brought in front of the group of people that we are bringing to this event. You know, it is something that we are doing annually, so it will be an annual event. We did decide to turn it into a nonprofit for that one reason, so that we're able to sit back and, St. Jude will be in the building to collect the check. So the sponsorship is going to be to help us put this thing together all the way through. Whether it's trophies, it's the submission, it's the location of the event. There is a 3-course meal, things like that. So it's more than just the artistry behind it. It's more than just us putting into it. We want to show our support as well to the industry, to the manufacturers, to the distributors, because again, like I said, they need us just as much as we need them.
So, quick question about that then, because you brought up St. Jude. So you're donating funds to St. Jude that you raise through the sponsors and through all the people that go to the show and everything else. Is that what you just said?
Yes, yes, we will be
Why,
donating.
just out of curiosity, why St. Jude?
It's You want to answer that one? St. Jude is actually going to
Go
be, and
for it.
it's because it's located. Their spot is out there in San Antonio. They have a location in San Antonio, and it's for us. It's just us
Okay.
showing, giving back, and that's because it's St. Jude. That's the reason why, because it's going to be in San Antonio.
Okay.
So
It's
every
all
year
good.
we're planning
I'm just
on
going to make a
moving this
little.
around to other locations.
Okay, cool. Well, I would love to chat with you guys about about the where the funding goes next year, if possible. Only
Yeah,
because of all places for you to bring up, St. Jude has tons of money. There are many other nonprofits out there that could use that money way more than St. Jude could ever need it. Just for the record, that's all. That's the only reason I asked,
No,
yeah,
that's
because I've
fair.
been
yeah,
involved in
yeah.
it.
That's
That's
fair. Like I said, we definitely want to. We're not looking to do St. Jude every
Because I
year.
love the
We're definitely
idea.
not doing St.
Yeah,
Jude
I
every year.
love the idea, but that's why I
We're
brought it
but
up.
doing it.
at the same
It's
at the same time, the funds, or the allocated funds, remaining funds available. I mean, it could go to any type of nonprofit, whether it's
right.
you know, military, or for the
It's
youth, or
all sorts of,
for
yeah.
hospitals.
Right.
This one just made sense for where we were going to host our event.
That's the only
Um,
reason.
but I mean, we really haven't really discussed that for next year.
Okay,
That's a conversation that we got to take back to the board for sure.
I know one of
absolutely,
the
man.
things
I'm
we
just
did
I'm
say
just here to give you
we
suggestions.
were going to. Yeah, one thing that we did say that we were looking into doing that we're very interested in is like I said, we're trying to keep this up, an upbeat event, and we're not going to keep it. It's not going to always be held in San Antonio. You know, next year it
No,
might be in
I'm
Miami.
pretty
This
sure
year
you
it
said
might be
next
in
year
New
is going to
York.
be in
It might be in
Nashville.
Tennessee. Yeah, hey, listen, I love Nashville. I love Nashville. So that's where it comes down that, and then we would find out within that area, like let's say it's in Nashville, let's say for real it's in Nashville, then it's like, all right, what's the one organization that's in Nashville that we know would benefit from this, you know?
I already got you
So and
covered.
then we'd
Just let
actually
me
look
know.
into it. Oh, let's do it.
Yeah.
It's called
Um,
my bank account. It's right
okay.
here.
Okay. All right. So entry, you can the categories, the competition is already open. Everybody can enter starting already now. I hope you've already got an entry or
Right.
two. The reason why I was asking about how many times you can enter is also because some guys, we see the same thing with the DCC awards. Well, you've got months to enter, and you have to remember during that time to enter. Well, if you have a long time to enter and you have this one project, oh man, this one project I can enter, I'm thinking about right now. But then a month from now, I do a really cool project and I go, man, I wish I would have entered that one now. And I can now go back and enter it because I'm still within the timeline of. So, what is the deadline? What is the last day of entering?
You got one, Chris?
That's that.
I,
Yeah, that's going to be August
it's
August
August 1st.
1st
Okay.
for
August 1st is the
last
last day.
submittal of
Okay.
Yep.
entries.
Yep.
So it's going to be important that over the course of the next couple months, feel free to submit any and all work that you've completed, that you feel is some of your best work, because after August 1st, we will not be taking any
Right.
more applications.
Exactly.
That will be then turned over to the judges, and allowing our judges to um, go through the work with a fine comb and select the best of the best.
And when is the actual event in San Antonio?
That's going
October
to be in
10th,
October
October.
10th.
Okay, so you're
which is
giving
a
the
Saturday.
judges plenty of time to do everything they need to do. That's good. That's
Yep.
okay. That's awesome. Last question is, does the work have to be done within a year, or does it matter if it was 15 years ago, for example?
We're looking at a no longer than a 2 year period.
So there is a limit to it, no longer than a 2 year period.
Yeah,
Okay.
there is a limit.
Well, then I definitely can't enter because I haven't done a epoxy project. Well, I've done one. I've done one with Chris that I don't even know if that was 2 years ago. That might have been 3 years ago already in Dallas. But
We'll do another one for you. Hey, I got a call that said I might be going to Ohio soon, so maybe we get you out of retirement and come up there with us.
good
We'll
luck.
see.
Yes. Okay. Is there anything we forgot to talk about? Because you guys wanted to do this for 20 minutes and we're almost an hour already. And I know this is what happens with me. Chris
I,
thinks that this
I
is going to take long, but it always does because I like to talk a lot.
I do want to say one thing, and then I'll pass it over to Eagle. So we've touched on it briefly. I think we do need to spend a little bit more time there. As far as our sponsorship is concerned, we are actively seeking community involvement. At the same time, this does not only have to be sponsorship from manufacturers or distributors in the resinous coatings.
Right.
Um, every artist and contractor that is going to be coming to this event in one way, shape, or form, I'm just going to name a few, but Marshalltown, how many uh, rollers and spike rollers and squeegees and brushes and things do we use from them? So if you want to be in front of the people that are constantly buying your material and may buy your material, we are asking for some sponsorships to fund this event. And what that does is it enables you, because there is a tier to our sponsorship, and those tiers are based on so let's say I think it's a $1,500 sponsor. You'll get 4 seats at a certain table. You'll be invited to the cocktail hour where all of the artists and contractors will be, and you'll have that opportunity to network with
Network.
people from other areas and people from other sides of the country. So I just wanna formally invite people that are thinking about coming to this event and want to be a part of this event in a positive way. Reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to connect with you. We'd love to build our industry together. Doesn't have to be separated. So reach out to myself, reach out to Eagle, Diamond. There's a few more, but you know, give us a call, give me a shout, give Eagle a shout, and let's see how we can build this thing together.
Yeah, the event itself on the day you have the event is not a popularity contest either. You want anybody
Right.
and everybody in the
No,
industry that wants to go. The guy that has 100
Anybody and everyone,
followers
as
and the
long as
guy
they
that has
purchase a
400
ticket,
followers, they all should go. Yeah.
they're all going to be in the same room.
absolutely.
you know,
Yeah.
and it's pretty
I think
much
that's a
being
great
that
idea.
bridge between the gap. Like what we have going on is, one of the things I notice is, it's being the bridge between the gap. What we have going on, this platform is literally for those guys that are just, you're new to the industry, but you really been watching how the industry's been moving, and you really see, a couple of these big name guys that you can't reach out to them on a day to day basis. These guys will be in the building. This is your opportunity to actually sit down and, hey, you know what? I can actually network with this person. I can see this person there. I can talk to this person. I can ask them a question, and these guys are genuine. They will speak to you. They will sit back and, give you some heads up, give you some pointers and things like that. That's going to help you grow, and my thing is your network is your net worth. So I had just made a post yesterday. I sat back and said, you're only one connection away from a better life. But you have to take that shot and be able to reach out to people. You're not the only person in this industry that's moving. Like, there's a lot of us, and you don't have to. Not everybody's trying to nickel and dime you. Not everybody's trying to get something from you. Some people out here are genuine. They'll give you free information, you know
Well, there's
and it's
also
to help
people
you
out there
grow.
that need the help really bad. It's not about whether they don't need
Yeah.
help and they just want the
Right.
recognition. It's also there's a lot of people out
Right.
there that don't understand. If you meet these guys, you're asking for help. There's nothing wrong with
You-
that. That
right.
goes back to a point you made in the very beginning of this, that this is about the art side of our industry gathering together and understanding the creative side of what we do. I
Hmm.
went to grad school for art. I lived in Savannah, Georgia through all that time. Every coffee shop, every bar, everywhere I went, I talked art, 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 art all the time. Not one time did one of us go, "Hey, I'm doing a gallery show. I can't tell you about it." Or, "This is my piece. I don't really want to show it to you because I don't want to hear your negativity." We were all
Right.
a huge community helping each other move forward, because just because
It's
you
on the
got
next
into a
level.
gallery doesn't mean I can't either. And my work is
Exactly.
completely different than your work. So it's completely okay for you to be in this
Exactly.
gallery and me to be in this gallery, because our work is not the same. It doesn't mean we fit
Exactly.
everywhere all the time, but we're allowed to communicate about that. We're allowed to discuss
Right.
things, and we're allowed to grow from that ability, because the whole point of that too is you have a completely different style than I do. You can help my style by giving me input from your style and vice versa. It doesn't mean we can't talk about it at all. That's one of my biggest frustrations in a lot of the world right now. We can't have opinions and we can't point out these things that we see that might help you. You have no idea what these little details can do to help you. And that's one of my favorite things about teaching.
Right.
It's the little
Well,
details when you teach. It's not the big picture.
Right.
that's the GPA in a sentence right there, man.
Right.
It's
Right.
about bringing unity to our industry and breaking the rule of you can't talk to me, I can't talk to you. We can help each other, and it doesn't take anything. It takes
Right.
just a simple conversation. So I think it's important to understand why we're doing what we're doing, and the reason behind it. But I do think it's also important that the community grabs a hold of it and really takes it to another level. It's important to have community involvement, because that's everything that we're preaching right now. We're preaching about bringing people together. So we need the industry to come together. We want the industry to come together. And ultimately it's going to fall on it's going to fall upon them, if this is the most successful night of our industry, it's all dependent on people like us coming together
Coming
and
together.
putting this event together.
Yep.
Because we could
Awesome.
do this every day, and you know a couple people show up, that's great. Or we could have our whole industry come together for one night and celebrate the wins of our industry, and man, that'll be beautiful.
Sure.
And
It
even
would
if
be
you don't
beautiful.
walk away with a trophy, you're still a winner. You know what I mean? You're still a winner. And in our eyes, that's the whole purpose of it. It's to bring everyone together, to show that, listen, we're stronger together, than to be
Well,
separate.
that's one of the
And that's
things
what
that
we're
I say
bringing to you.
about. I say the same thing about the DCC awards. If you don't win an award, even though you entered, go find out who won, and you're going to go, "Oh yeah, that's why I didn't win," and not in a negative, because there are people out there doing
Right.
insanely good work. That doesn't mean you shouldn't enter. That means this year that guy
Right.
won because he did something amazing. Next year, your work might be better than theirs. You don't know that if you don't enter. That's the biggest issue with
If you
these
don't try.
competitions is if you don't try,
Yep.
you'll never know. And I say that
Yep.
all the time, and
I was
I
always,
love that
yeah,
point
I was
because
always told
there's no way to move forward if you don't enter.
if you aim at
One
nothing,
hundred
you'll always
percent.
hit your target. So you
Yep.
said it. That's exactly what it is. You gotta have, you gotta have something to fall on. You gotta have something that you believe in. If you believe in your work enough, I don't care who I'm going against. I could be going against Michael Jordan, and I think I'm the best 3-point shooter or the best dunker in the league. I'm going against Mike. Listen, that what they say.
I'm taking that thing home.
Yeah, I'm taking it home. And it's in the Bible, bro. If you have faith as big as a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. Like, so, as long as you believe in yourself and you got that dog in you, man. Listen, anything's possible. You know,
Anything's possible.
one that's on
Awesome.
his note,
Well,
and then the last on my end is just to make sure that in order to attend the event, you have to purchase a ticket. There's no tickets gonna be sold at the event. That's probably the next biggest thing, because I had people ask if, are they selling tickets at the event? No, there will not be tickets sold at the event. You have to purchase your tickets on the website. There's an Eventbrite website that's up on the Golden Pour page as well. That's where you will purchase your tickets. All right.
Okay, cool. I look forward to talking about that more. Like I said before we started, I think we should have another one leading up to it to remind people to go. Like in the month
Definitely.
beforehand or something like that. Don't forget, get your ticket, before we hit that deadline. Let's have
Maybe
another.
maybe
Go ahead.
no, go ahead. Sorry.
I
Yeah,
was just going to
maybe
say
get the whole
we need.
board on here, man. And
That's fine.
Yeah, we can
I'm
get the
fine either
board on.
way. But let's do this again, leading up to that to remind people. And heck, I don't care if we do one just before, a couple weeks before this is the deadline, to remind people, hey, we need more people to enter. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And then let's talk again and go, okay, now that we've talked again, this is the date. Let's go. Who's going to be there? Who's going to talk? Who's going to see each other? Who do you want to see? What are you expecting to see? Like all that kind of stuff. Let's see how far this can go. And I'll do whatever I can to help you guys out. And I really appreciate you taking this time.
Appreciate it.
I know you didn't have that much time, but here we are. And you gave me as much time as I asked for. So I'm happy. Appreciate it.
That'll work.
no, I thank you for having us, Rick.
Yeah, thanks for having us, for sure.
This is a positive move for our industry, and truth be told, man, I'm glad that somebody took it by the horns and decided to push forward. Eagle, man, we're excited to bring this event to life, and we'll see y'all in October.
See y'all in October,
Awesome, man.
for sure.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you. Likewise.
All right.